Welcome back. Please like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Hello, everyone. Today, we are discussing a major international step in the world of technology.
That's right, Alex. In India, global leaders have officially adopted the New Delhi Declaration on AI Impact. This happened at the end of a high-level summit.
This agreement seems very important for the future. Can you explain the main goals?
Of course. The declaration is built on 7 pillars, or main ideas. One key goal is to make AI tools available to more people and countries, not just a few. They also want to build infrastructure that is energy efficient, so it does not harm the environment.
It sounds like they want to balance technology with responsibility. What about the workers who might lose their jobs to AI?
That is a major part of the discussion. The leaders agreed that AI should help society. They are committed to reskilling the workforce. This means helping people learn new skills so they can work alongside new technology.
And how does this affect individual countries? Does every country have to follow the same rules?
The declaration respects national sovereignty. This means each country can still make its own laws, but they will work together within this shared framework.
This is a significant moment for international diplomacy. President Trump and other world leaders are now looking for a consensus on how to manage these powerful tools.
Exactly. As AI continues to reshape the global economy, this declaration helps ensure that innovation is both safe and fair for everyone.
Thank you for that clear analysis, Jamie. It is certainly a topic we will follow closely.
Thank you, Alex.
Good morning. Today, we are looking at a major development in the world of technology and international relations. India has officially joined a new initiative led by the United States.
That is correct, Alex. The initiative is called Pax Silica. It is a strategic plan to create a more secure supply chain for the world's most important technology.
Pax Silica sounds quite significant. Can you explain what the main goal of this alliance is?
Certainly. The primary goal is to build a trusted network for making semiconductors, the small chips found in everything from phones to cars, and advanced hardware for artificial intelligence.
And why is this happening now?
President Trump's administration wants to reduce the world's reliance on manufacturing hubs in China. By working together, these countries want to ensure that geopolitical tensions do not disrupt the production of electronics.
I understand. Besides the U.S. and India, which other countries are involved?
The alliance already includes Japan, South Korea, and the United Kingdom. These nations will also focus on securing critical minerals. These are special materials that are essential for building next-generation technology.
This seems like a very strong partnership. It sounds like India is playing a much bigger role in global tech now.
Exactly. This move follows a recent trade agreement between the U.S. and India. It shows that the two countries are deepening their cooperation to maintain leadership in the Indo-Pacific region.
It is a steady shift toward a new way of doing business in the tech world. Thank you for that report, Jamie.
You are welcome, Alex. We will continue to monitor how this alliance changes the global market.
Good morning. Today, we are looking at a new report from the U.S. Department of the Treasury. They have just finished a major project to protect our financial systems from risks related to artificial intelligence.
That is correct, Alex. This project is a key part of the current administration's AI Action Plan. The goal is to make sure our banks and financial markets stay safe as technology changes.
To help with this, the Treasury is releasing 6 new resources. These are specialized guides designed for banks and government partners. But Jamie, what exactly do these guides focus on?
They focus on 2 main things. First, they help banks find vulnerabilities or weak points in their AI models. Second, they help ensure that the entire U.S. financial grid can keep running smoothly, even if there is a cyber attack.
That makes sense. We know that banks are using AI more and more every day. They use it for things like high-speed trading and detecting credit card fraud.
Exactly. Because banks rely so much on this technology, industry leaders are welcoming these new rules. They believe that having standard security protocols is the only way to keep the market stable.
It is a proactive step. By identifying risks now, the government and banks can work together to prevent future problems.
Well said, Alex. It is all about maintaining trust and security in the digital age.
Thank you for that analysis, Jamie. We will continue to monitor how these new guidelines are put into practice. Good morning. Today, we are discussing an important update regarding how the government monitors our largest banks.
Good morning, Alex. Several major financial groups, including the American Bankers Association, have reached out to the Federal Reserve. They are asking for more transparency in stress tests.
For our listeners who may not know, could you explain what a stress test is?
Certainly. A stress test is a checkup to see if a bank is strong enough to survive a financial crisis. The government creates difficult, hypothetical scenarios to see how banks react.
Currently, these groups argue the process is not clear enough. They want the Federal Reserve to show its work.
Exactly. They are asking for a more predictable process. Right now, banks feel the rules change too often. They want the requirements to match actual, real-world risks rather than imaginary ones.
Why does this matter for the broader economy?
It is about lending. When the rules are confusing, banks might hold on to too much cash just to be safe. If the rules are transparent and logical, banks can lend more money to businesses and families.
So, clearer rules could actually help the economy grow?
That is the goal. By making the models public, the Federal Reserve is becoming more accountable. This shift follows several legal discussions about how the government regulates big business.
It sounds like a move toward a more balanced system. It will be interesting to see how these reforms develop under the current administration.
Indeed. More clarity usually leads to more stability. Thank you for the discussion, Alex.
Thank you, Jamie, and thank you all for listening. Good morning. Today, we are discussing a major shift in U.S. trade policy. President Trump has issued a new executive order regarding global tariffs.
That is correct, Alex. The president announced a new 10% tariff on all imported goods. This decision comes immediately after a significant ruling from the Supreme Court.
Let's look at that ruling. On Friday, the court voted 6-3 against the president's previous trade actions. They stated that his use of emergency powers to tax imports was unlawful.
Yes, the Supreme Court ruled that the power to tax imports belongs to Congress, not the president. However, President Trump criticized this decision. He said he would use alternative laws to protect American industry.
He is calling this new 10% tax a temporary import surcharge. According to the announcement, it is scheduled to take effect on February 24th.
This move has already created a lot of concern internationally. Many of our trading partners are worried. Governments around the world are now reviewing their trade agreements with the United States.
And there is talk of retaliation. Some countries may decide to tax American products in return. This could lead to a very difficult situation for global trade.
It is a developing story. While the president says these measures are necessary to protect the domestic economy, the international community is preparing for a possible trade conflict.
Thank you for that summary, Jamie. It is clear that the next few weeks will be very important for the global market.
I agree, Alex. We will continue to monitor the situation closely as the February deadline approaches.
Thank you for joining us for this update. We will see you next time. Hello and welcome. Today, we are looking at the rising tensions between the United States and Iran. The White House has just issued a 15-day deadline for Iran to finalize a new nuclear agreement.
That's right, Alex. President Trump announced on Saturday that while the U.S. prefers diplomatic channels, the slow progress of the talks in Geneva is no longer acceptable. This 15-day ultimatum is a clear sign that the administration is losing patience.
It seems this is a major part of the maximum pressure strategy. Beyond the words, we are also seeing reports that the U.S. has increased its Air Force presence in the Middle East. Jamie, how is the world interpreting this move?
Many analysts see the military movement as a signal of potential action if a deal is not reached. The goal of the U.S. is to secure a comprehensive agreement. Specifically, they want to permanently limit Iran's ability to enrich nuclear material.
And of course, the global markets are already feeling the impact of this uncertainty.
Exactly. Global oil markets are already reacting to the news. Because investors fear that oil supplies might be disrupted in the region, prices have begun to rise. It is a classic example of a geopolitical risk premium affecting the economy.
It is a very delicate situation with a very short window for movement. Both sides now have just 2 weeks to find a solution before the deadline expires.
We will certainly keep a close eye on any further developments from Geneva or the White House.
Thank you for joining us for this update. We will see you again next time. Good morning. Today, we are looking at a developing story from New Delhi, India, regarding the impact of technology on the workforce.
Good morning, Alex. It is a story that highlights a growing concern for many young professionals today, the fear of being replaced by machines.
Over the weekend, a local court placed 4 political activists in police custody. They were detained after organizing a demonstration at the India AI Impact Summit.
These protesters are members of the Indian Youth Congress. Their message was very specific. They argue that the rapid use of generative AI is already leading to job losses, particularly in the media and technology sectors.
That is a significant point, Jamie. While the experts inside the summit were discussing progress and innovation, the protesters outside were focused on economic security.
Exactly. This event highlights a much larger global debate. On one hand, we have the benefits of new technology. On the other hand, unions and youth groups are demanding stronger government protections for workers.
It is a difficult balance to maintain. Governments around the world are trying to figure out how to support industrial innovation without hurting traditional livelihoods. Even here in the U.S., President Trump has often emphasized the importance of protecting workers as industries change.
That is true. The situation in New Delhi is a reminder that technology does not move forward alone. It has real social and economic consequences for real people.
The protesters remain in custody for now, but their demonstration has started a necessary conversation about the future of labor.
It serves as a steady reminder that as we move into the future, we must ensure that the transition is fair for everyone.
Thank you for that analysis, Jamie. We will continue to monitor these developments.
Thank you, Alex.
Good morning. I'm Alex. Today we are looking at an important diplomatic update from South Asia.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie. It appears that relations between Bangladesh and India are beginning to improve.
That is correct. According to recent reports, Bangladesh is moving towards restoring visa facilities for Indian citizens. As many listeners know, these services were suspended in late 2025. This happened after a period of protests and tension near diplomatic offices.
It was a very difficult time for the region. However, the new government in Bangladesh is now focusing on normalizing cross-border travel. They want to rebuild their bilateral relations with India.
While a formal announcement hasn't been released yet, experts say this is a vital step for regional stability. Why is this so significant for the people living there, Jamie?
Well, Alex, thousands of families live on both sides of the border. These travel restrictions separated relatives and hurt many small businesses. Restoring visas will allow families to reunite and help economic trade grow again.
It is a clear sign that both neighbors are choosing cooperation over conflict. It shows a steady move toward a more composed and peaceful relationship.
Exactly. It's about returning to a sense of balance. We will continue to watch for the official notification from the government.
Thank you for that analysis, Jamie. And thank you for joining us today for this update.
Have a calm and productive day.
Good morning. I'm Alex. Thank you for joining us for today's Space Report.
Hello, Alex. Today, we have an important update on NASA's Artemis II mission, which is a major step in the effort to send humans back to the moon.
That's right. However, there is some difficult news. Over the weekend, engineers discovered a serious problem during their final checks of the rocket.
Exactly. On Saturday, they detected an interruption in the flow of helium to the Space Launch System, or the SLS rocket. Helium is essential for the rocket's upper stage.
For our listeners who are learning about this, why is that specific part of the rocket so important?
Well, Alex, the upper stage is what pushes the Orion capsule into its final orbit around the Earth. If the helium doesn't flow correctly, the rocket cannot complete its mission safely.
This mission is a top priority for President Trump's administration as they work to strengthen American leadership in space. What are the next steps for the NASA team?
Right now, officials are evaluating the damage. They need to decide if they can fix the issue at the launch pad, or if they must move the entire rocket back to the assembly building.
Moving the rocket back would be a big task, and it would likely mean a long delay, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
This mission has already faced challenges, including previous hydrogen leaks. Now many are wondering if the March 6 launch can still happen.
It is a clear reminder of how difficult and dangerous space travel can be. We will continue to follow NASA's progress closely as they make their decision.
Thank you, Alex. We all hope for a safe and successful solution soon.
Thank you for listening to our update. We will see you next time.
Good morning. Today, we are looking at a fascinating discovery from deep space. Scientists have used the James Webb Space Telescope to create a new three-dimensional map of Uranus.
That is correct, Alex. For the first time, an international team has mapped the planet's ionosphere. This is the upper layer of the atmosphere, filled with charged particles. They use the telescope's special sensors to look 5,000 kilometers above the clouds.
Uranus is a very unusual planet because it is tilted on its side. How does that affect its atmosphere?
It changes everything. Because the magnetic field is so tilted, it actually warps the atmosphere. The telescope showed how energy and particles move in strange ways. They found glowing bands of light, known as auroras, and mysterious dark regions where there are fewer particles.
It sounds like Uranus has many similarities to Jupiter, but with its own unique twist. Did the study find any other surprises?
Yes, the data confirmed a 30-year cooling trend in the upper layers of Uranus. This means the planet has been getting steadily colder for 3 decades.
That is a long time. Why is this data so important for us today?
It helps scientists understand how ice giant planets manage energy. By studying Uranus, we can learn more about how distant planetary systems evolve over time.
It is truly impressive to see what the Webb telescope can reveal from millions of miles away. Thank you for those insights, Jamie.
My pleasure, Alex. It is a big step forward for space exploration.